Okay, so what happened with this outlet here?
When I went to unplug it, the fridge, see, it ran good for all those years.
Yeah.
And when I went to unplug it,
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit of a jolt. So you'll be able to see it once you pull that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope to do that thing this coming week, but you already got the thing made. So.
Oh, okay.
You bought some movies, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought a few movies. Wow, this is not hooked up correctly. They backstabbed the wires.
Yeah.
And they.
Of course, that's been there for 50, 60 years.
Oh no, no way, nowhere near 50 years, because they didn't even have the 3-prong back 50 years ago.
It's been a long, long time. 20, 30? I don't know. What'd they do wrong?
They'd only twisted the ground wires and didn't put a wire nut on them.
Okay.
So I'm going to just cut these wires off here.
There you go.
And, okay, can you go downstairs and get a piece of the white wire? This is 14 wire rather than 12, so I need a little...
You want 14?
Yes, to make a new pigtail to the ground. Okay, another thing I noticed is, see these clips that hold the box in the wall?
That seems to be pretty solid though, right?
Right, but the tabs were spread out and touching the side of the outlet, making the box slide.
Maybe that's what, I think maybe that was the problem.
Might have been part of it, yes.
Let me see if I can find a short piece of that.
Oh, okay. So here in the country I was born in, your black is live, your white is neutral, and your bare here is your ground. Okay, make sure our box holders are back flush against the wall here. So we'll strip our wires. We'll use our 14 gauge hole since we're using, this is 14 gauge wire. You can see the numbers on the wire strippers here. Okay, and one last thing is 2 little short sheetrock screws.
1 inch?
Yeah.
Or 1 1/4?
1 inch. Okay, so
They're
we're
going
going
to stick out too much?
No, they'll flat. There's something solid to screw this into.
Alright, what else? Anything else?
Not that I can think of, no. So we're going to pigtail our ground wires together here.
You got a screw gun?
Yeah, I'll just screw them in by hand. Because if I use the screw gun, I'll go too fast and strip the hole. Okay, so we'll strip them, cut it so it's even on the end here. We'll put our wire nut on the grounds. Okay, so we'll get our ground wires back into our box here, get them back out of the way of everything here. Keep it down towards the bottom. So here in the country I was born in, your white wire goes on the silver screw, which is the wider slot, Your black wire goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot, and your ground goes on this green screw. So we'll first hook our 2 whites in our ground up. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight like that, and your copper's under the screw head all the way around. Okay. And we'll get our ground wire on our green screw. Okay. That'll be good, yep.
There is one that's loose in here too. Something about that.
Okay, I'll do that one next.
That one's good.
Make sure it's nice and tight like that there. Now we'll fold this around this way. We'll zigzag our ground wire across the bottom. I bought Lynn a birthday cake.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
When's his birthday?
the Monday, the 23rd.
Oh my God.
77 already.
77. Now he's going to be 87, isn't he? He's in his 80s. You think it's 87?
77.
No, he's 80 something. Well, Kenny was 85, and Lynn was a year older, so he's going to be 87. How about that?
Hmm.
Yeah, ask him.
Yeah.
You probably like hearing 77 better, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Make sure you don't get your insulation caught under the screw head here. There we go, that's what we want. Now we have a couple little Phillips screwdrivers. Screws, because we want to make sure this box is nice and stable so that these... Do you have any electrical tape by any chance?
I have some, but I got it wrong yet.
Okay, I'll put some tape around the screws of the outlet just for extra precaution because of the little box holder clamps holding the box in the wall. Okay, so we'll put another one over here. I'm going to make sure our screw's not going to hit the wires in the back. It's not. This outlet's a little bit older. It has the flathead screws only rather than the Phillips or the Robertson one. Again, you can see the brass screw lines up with the narrow slot. Silver screw wides up with the wider slot. And of course the green screw goes to the ground hole because here in the country I was born in, our outlets are all polarized, so the narrower prong is your live prong. So we're going to put a little tape around this just for a little extra precaution. Okay, found some?
Found some.
Alrighty, so we're going to use some UL listed electrical tape just for a little extra precaution. It's not mandatory by code, but it's optional. So I'm just going to loosely wrap it around here so the heat doesn't make the tape come off. It's only because it's a metal box and we have the these box holders in the way, and I'm going to cut our tape rather than pull on it so that it doesn't unravel and come off. Okay, now we can push it back into our box here. And we'll simply screw it back into the wall here. And we'll screw it back tight against our box. Make sure it's nice and tight. And we'll just simply stick our cover back on here. There we go, we got one done.
Look at that.
Alright, how does that look?
It's very good.
Good. Alrighty, so that is how to fix a shocking experience here in the country I was born in when you unplug the refrigerator. Peace. Thanks for watching. Okay.
How are you doing on your YouTube?
Good. Good.